Welcome to Brindisi, gateway to the east, a crossroads of cultures and people. The city, with its magnificent port and its strategic geographical position, boasts millennia of history. Although Brindisi was already inhabited 12,000 years ago in the Paleolithic, its first verified settlements date to the Middle Bronze Age and were concentrated in the outer harbour, where cruise ships dock today, in Punta Le Terrare. In the 8th century BC, the Messapians, probably of Illyrian origin, settled in Brindisi and created strong business and trade relationships with the Greeks across the Adriatic.
This is a fantastic bronze statue. It's dated to the 2nd century BC and represents Polydapion.
Brindisi was one of the most secure ports in the Mediterranean, offering protection both from external attacks and from the tides, and attracted the attention of Rome. In 244 BC, Rome wrested power over the area from the Messapians and transformed the city into an important colony. Brindisi's Roman period is most strongly represented by the city's port. Historical sources celebrate its excellence and note its branched outline, which made the port resemble the head and antlers of a stag. Brindisi's name, in fact, may derive from the word Brentus in the language of the Messapians, in other words, the head of a stag. The imperial period was Brindisi's golden age, and the city continued to play an important role, especially because of its port, a preferred stopping place for military and commercial expeditions to and from the east. Roadways were built to connect Brindisi and Rome, including the so-called Queen of Roads, the Appian Way, and the Trajan Way. Brindisi was a cultural crossroads as well, especially for those traveling to Greece. Cicero, Horace, and the famous poet Virgil all stopped in Brindisi, where, according to tradition, Virgil died in 19 BC as he was returning from a trip to Greece. Brindisi's port was also a theatre for war and military actions, including Julius Caesar's siege against Pompey and then Octavian, following his defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 27 BC. Brindisi's citizens proclaimed him the first Roman emperor, and a triumphal arch was erected in his honor. Late, the city was threatened by the Goths, attacked by the Longobards, and fought over by the Byzantines and the Normans. In 1071, the Normans finally conquered the city and undertook the reconstruction of civil and religious buildings. They held onto power in the city until the Swabian domination began. Brindisi regained part of its past splendor during the Crusades, when a new cathedral was consecrated by Pope Urban II and a castle was built. At that point, Brindisi once again became the center of important historical events. It was in the Brindisi's cathedral in 1225 that the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II married the very young Isabella, heiress to the crown of Jerusalem. And it was from Brindisi's port that Frederick set off for the Sixth Crusade in 1227. The Crusades were closely linked to the city of Brindisi, which became the point of departure for numerous expeditions. It was also the port from which many pilgrims sailed for Jerusalem. In the 15th century, the Aragonese reinforced Brindisi's defensive system, especially on the coast, by creating a system of castles and fortifications, some of which are still visible today. In the 19th century, Brindisi once again became an important commercial trading port. In 1870, with the opening of the Suez Canal, a sea route connecting London to Bombay was established, and Brindisi was chosen as the terminus for ships of the largest European navigation company of the 20th century, the India Mail. To satisfy the needs of a growing number of visitors, the Hotel of the East Indies, today Hotel Internazionale, was opened in 1870, becoming one of the most renowned hotels in the Mediterranean. Every traveler who has passed through Brindisi over the centuries, including such figures as Mahatma Gandhi, has represented the free circulation of cultures and ideas between the East and the West. During the Second World War, the city was heavily bombed, and the King of Italy took refuge here after the 8th of September 1943. From September 1943 to February 1944, Brindisi was the capital of Italy. There is so much to see and discover in Brindisi. Start your discovery with not to be missed attractions as the Roman columns and capitals, the archaeological site of San Pietro degli Schiavoni below the suspended new Theatre Verdi, and San Giovanni al Sepolcro. You'll also find lots of other monuments, churches and museums, and much more.